Today I'll be speaking about communication and coaching. We all have had that one coach we absolutely hate. One key factor as to why some hate that specific coach is communication. If a coach cannot communicate thoroughly to his or her athletes, then there are problems within the team. The art of communication is very important in the life of a coach, whether it be verbal or nonverbal. It creates success within the team. In this speech, I will discuss how and why communication is important in the coaching profession. I will discuss the importance of communication from the players and coaches aspect. When you're communicating with your players, try different approaches. There was a blog that I found very useful, especially for being a coach myself. The blog was written by Alan Hargreaves and Richard Bate, which I accessed on July 20th, 2019, and the title of it was Communication is Key to Coaching. They had multiple approaches, but I chose a couple. The first is a double positive approach, which pretty much means do not rip into the young player, show positivity, and then explain what he or she could do to change. The second approach is the question and answer technique. You do not just tell the player what they should be doing, you should ask them questions as well. A quote from the blog states, "First, you will elicit the correct technical diagnosis, and second, by involving the players in the discussion, you will encourage them to develop their own powers of observation and critical analysis." As a coach, it is important to communicate the best way possible with your players. An article written by Bo Hansen titled Importance of Communication on November 13th, 2018 discusses the importance of good communication versus bad communication. As a coach, you need to set goals for the team, and according to Hansen and a study, there's coaches out there who do not communicate that. Hansen stated, European leaders' recent research showed that poor communication is responsible for reduced performance in the business world. The study emphasized why it is so important for senior management to be able to communicate effectively, with 41% of employees believing communication improves productivity and performance. The same way in the sports world, if a coach communicates the goals of the team in an effective manner, there will be success and productivity within the team. For a coach to understand their team, he or she needs to gather some concepts of communication. There's an educational article written by Arkansas State University titled The Importance of Communication in Sports on August 17th, 2018. The article goes on to talk about how a coach needs to be able to read his players by communication. A coach can say a lot by not saying a word. A coach's nonverbal communication speaks volume. A key factor to a team is the coach, the Arkansas State article from 2018 states. However, learning to communicate one's thoughts and feelings clearly and effectively without hurting or offending others can take time. Fostering this knowledge in players is primarily the responsibility of the team's coach. To add to this topic of concepts of communication, there was an article written by Brian McKenzie titled Communication Skills. I accessed that article on July 20th, 2019. He also gives credit in this article to a previous article called Crooks from 1991. The Crooks article goes on to explain some different questions coaches should ask themselves during communication. For example, do I have the athlete's attention? As a coach, you can tell a lot by nonverbal communication. In the article Crooks from 1991, it stated that you can tell a lot by the head nods, smiles, frowns, eye movements, postures, etc. As a coach, you have to be able to develop your communication skills. Crooks also states that coaches should develop the verbal and nonverbal communication skills, ensure that they provide positive feedback during coaching sessions, communicate as appropriate to your athletes' thinking and learning styles, and to ensure that they do not only talk to their athletes, but they listen to them as well. As a coach myself, I think communication is valuable. A coach is a true leader, and without having the skills to communicate, your team will more than likely be unsuccessful. In the coaching field, you have to be able to communicate with fellow coaches, opposing coaches, referees, umpires, administration, parents, and even fans. I believe that communication is important in coaching because it creates a bond with you and your players. In conclusion, communication is a very key component in the life of a coach. The way a coach goes about his or her communication can say a lot about a team. A coach needs to be able to communicate verbally and non-verbally in the best way to suit the team. The art of communication is very important in the life of a coach. Whether it be verbal or non-verbal, it creates success within a team. The concepts of communication have a lot to do with the coach's willpower and the power to control his or her team by communication. And as a coach, you might just be able to read your players and try different communication approaches. The art of communication is just not a dialogue or speaking. It is about listening and responding. Thank you.